Well, Pope Benedict is in his final hours as leader of the Catholic Church. When he officially resigns tomorrow, he will take a helicopter from here to the Pope's summer residence, Castel Gandolfo, about 20 miles south of Rome. That's where he'll begin his new life as the first retired pontiff in centuries. In the sleepy town of Castel Gandolfo, perched above a scenic lake, the Pope's summer residence. Like an embassy, it's actually Vatican, not Italian territory, and it's larger than the entire Vatican itself.
Castel Gandolfo, of course, has a local population, and they love the Pope. And in fact, as it turns out, they're going to be the last people to see him before he resigns. He is going to greet them from his window at his villa.
For 400 years, popes have used this spot as a quiet sanctuary and for the occasional state visit. Until recently, the area also provided a unique intersection between science and religion. Nearly a dozen astronomers once used this papal observatory to study the skies. After Benedict arrives at Gandolfo, his Swiss guards, normally charged with protecting the Pope, will officially be replaced by regular Vatican police. Benedict will stay here for about 2 months until renovations are complete on his future permanent home, Mater Ecclesiae. Just a few hundred yards from the papal palace, Latin for Mother of the Church. It was once a Vatican convent.
That makes life easier, for him. He'll be with the same people he was living with before in terms of security and privacy. He'll have it, and even be able to walk in the gardens, which is another thing he has done up until now.
Renovations to the convent began last fall, before the world knew why, mostly to make space for Benedict's large personal library. The talented musician will also move his beloved piano to his new home, but everything else, from the furniture to the art, will be passed on to his successor, as it has been for centuries. Another custom associated with every change in church leadership, Benedict's papal gold ring, known as the Fisherman's Ring, and the pontifical seal given to every pope, will be destroyed once Benedict abdicates. But what about worries that 2 popes at the Vatican will result in a power struggle, especially since they will share the same personal secretary?
Retire for him really means retire. If he wanted to hold on to power, he would have stayed as pope. There's nothing he likes more than prayer, reading, reflection, study, and I think that's exactly what he's going to do.
Well, how will the retired Pope pay for things? According to reports, he does qualify for a small pension, but the Vatican is expected to pay for most of his expenses, guys.
Hey, let's talk a little bit, if we can kind of fast forward till tomorrow, Savannah. A lot of events on his last day as the Pope. What are we expecting schedule-wise?
It'll be a day of circumstance, pomp and circumstance, a lot of ceremony. He's going to have a private audience with the cardinals, who've now all come here to say their goodbyes and then ultimately to hold a conclave to elect the next pope. So he will talk to them, greet them individually, it is expected, and then he will walk out into the courtyard, be sent off and take a helicopter to Castel Gandolfo, which of course we've just been talking about. So this is a pope who's ready to retire to the private life. Here's somebody who spent his life really as a scholar, a theologian, a professor, somebody who feels more at home with his library books more than he ever really did with the public eye. He talked about that this morning in his final public audience, the desire to go back to a private cloistered life. And so starting tomorrow, he will. At 8 o'clock local time, he officially becomes Pope Emeritus.